Marveling the guards at the east gate, Piper managed to gain passage into the law district under the guise of seeking a performance job. Stopping off at the Boiling Kettle, the Sword District's tavern and fight pit, Piper talked with the half-elf proprietor and secured employment, as well as the necessary paperwork for re-entry the following night. With that taken care of, the trio made their way to the Pot of Ink in the Quill District. Approaching the Gold Elves who hid within, Piper drew out their story, as well as the last martyr's location. Promising to look into the matter, the trio left to go investigate the scene of the most recent crime. So you're heading towards where Yorin was killed, and you do see that there are a couple guards standing by, but they're not really paying close attention to the scene.
We investigate the scene of the crime.
You can just walk right past them. They seem to just not care at this point. They feel everything.
I mean, at this point, this is the 10th murder, so
yeah. Well, that and the fact that the body's not there anymore. They've done their job at this point. They're here just in case the criminal returns to the scene of the crime. Yeah, right. Like that fucking's gonna happen. So they don't really seem all that interested in you guys going down the alley where this happened.
Mm-hmm.
I investigate the scene of the crime.
All right, so you come across the area that seems to be, and remember the assist rule. Ahaha. I wrote it on a sticky note so I'd remember. But you come to this area, and you can definitely see that there was some kind of struggle. There is blood, very obviously. It hasn't been washed away yet, so you know you're in the right place. And Piper, if you'd like to assist Jelltur in that investigation, first, are you proficient?
I am not.
Then you have to make a DC 10 investigation check.
Okay. 22?
22? Could have just done your own investigation at that point, but that is enough to give Jelltur advantage on his investigation.
24.
24. Slightly better. Mm-hmm. So Jelltur and Piper, you are poking around, and Piper, you're pointing things out, and Jelltur is able to give you a little more information on it. You find gouges in a brick wall that look very similar to claw marks that seem to be scaling the side of the wall.
Some strong-ass claws. Jesus fucking Christ.
We point that out to Scratch.
I go over and I take a look at it.
All right. Roll me a perception, Scratch. Because you're looking for something different at this point. You didn't need to find it. You just need to be observant enough.
17.
17? So you're looking at it, and this is obviously someone was climbing. But your claws cannot penetrate that brick. Like, not as deep as they were. But you also notice something else, and you hold your hand out, and you recognize that the claw marks have had to have come from a smaller hand. Not as big as yours.
Well, it probably wasn't a Katzen claw couldn't have done this.
Not even the younger one?
I told you, your claws would break.
Yeah.
What if you use some sort of tool? Just because you don't use weapons doesn't mean you can't.
It would have to be something made of metal.
There's plenty of stuff here that you could easily get a hold of in town.
Hey, Brian, can I climb this wall?
Katzen.
Yeah, you could easily climb this wall.
Alright, so I climbed the wall.
All right, and with your 24 still active, you see that there is, following the claw marks up, there are smears of soot and ash that lead off towards the market district. You see, like, footprints leading towards the market district. But make me a quick perception check.
What the fuck?
Can I do the same?
You have to climb up to do it, but yes.
15.
15?
Yeah.
And you have a climbing speed as well, Scratch, so Scratch, you have to climb up in order to do it, but yes, you can also make the perception check. So we have a 15. So, Scratch, go ahead and give me that perception check.
21.
21? You see these footprints, but there's something weird about them. The heel it's like the heel never touches the ground. Like they're in a full sprint the whole time. But the heel of it's a boot print. It's obviously a boot print. But the heel never touches the ground.
And you said it was covered in soot?
Soot, yes.
The hell does
Soot
that mean?
and ash.
I mean, I assume that means that they use something to, like, disguise themselves.
Make a quick... This would be an intelligence check for Jelltur.
Nice. I got that one, so I get to reroll.
That's always good.
Alright, modify 20.
There's only a few places where you could get ash on your boots. It's if you kept them near a fire, if you were constantly around, say, a forge, or if you were like tending to like bonfires or large flames. And there's very few places in the city that would have something like that available consistently.
And you said they're heading towards the market district?
Yes, they were headed toward the market district.
So, you said by a fireplace, a forge, or a bonfire type festival?
Yeah. So at a festival, you might get this stuff on your boots if you kept your boots like right next to a fire, or if you walk around near a forge.
I mean, gives us places to check at the very least. This is like 2 blacksmiths in the market district, right?
I believe so. Let me double check the market district. There's only one blacksmith in the market district of any skill, and that's the ringing hammer.
Well, if any skill. Okay, well, so
There are lesser. Well, there's lesser ones that you could check out.
Asshole.
But most of them, the reason they're lesser is because they're not as skilled. 2, their equipment's not as good.
Fair enough. Was there any festivals recently back in the mission?
No.
So someone with a fireplace. Or... Fuck. But there was the boat on fire.
There was a boat on fire, yes.
But the boat was on fire a couple days ago, and these assassinations have been happening for a lot longer.
Yeah, that's the issue.
It's a good theory, though.
I'm just like trying to... Fuck. We gotta go look for stuff now, Kreg.
Yeah, but next to a fireplace, like practically in it.
So, but not gonna. It's not the blacksmith. It's no way.
I hope not.
It's not the blacksmith.
Yeah, so we climb back down. Well, I'd like to speak with Gelf at the bookshop again. Someone who knows quite a lot about Katzen.
We can speak with Gelf in the morning. We could also touch base with that blacksmith. At the very least,
Yes.
maybe he forged something for someone that would cause those grooves in the wall. That would allow somebody to scale so easily.
That is what I think. Yes.
Assuming he'll, give us that information.
This is true.
Someone with knowledge of Katzen abilities, and someone who could make something that could do this. And I indicate the wall.
True.
Alright, so you guys set up your plan, and I'm guessing return to the Whispering Wood to finish your rest.
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, so you go back.
And no, I don't think it's either of them.
I know, but
I think he made the metal claws or whatever, and I think it's possible that they got the information on Katzen from the book owner, from the bookstore.
Well, we'll see how shocked he is to see a Katzen when you go over there tomorrow. The blacksmith.
Yeah.
though the bookstore one, that he'll probably be more inclined to give us information. The blacksmith, depending on how he does his business, might not be so easy.
Well, I might also have ways of persuading.
Here we go again. Can I stay at the pod of ink?
It is a gold to get a room there, but your visa will expire, so you'll have to leave the next day.
I mean, I can stay the night here.
I mean, yeah, you're allowed to. I'm not saying no. I'm saying it's going to cost you a gold to get a room there, and your visa is only good until the next day. So you'd wake up in the morning and then have to make your way. If you get stopped, be like, I am going back to that district right now. You might get an escort the rest of the way just to confirm. But other than that, it was only for, you had until that day. Like,
No, let's go back.
all right. So you guys return to your rooms at the Whispering Wood, complete your rest, and the next morning, you three actually wake up a little later than the other ones because, you've been up part of the night, and you have Kradod and Kreg eating breakfast the next morning downstairs.
Ah!
Why? Why is that what you hear in the morning?
She's watching Kreg eat.
Yeah,
They're watching Kreg eat.
There's not much hands involved, surprisingly.
Where does he put it all?
Sebastian's just sitting there eating a piece of fruit, watching like, I know.
I just look at Jelltur. Maybe we should have stayed at the other end.
More, please.
Why? Wait, why we? What?
Ivy walks over with 2 trays of food, places them down.
Thank you, Ivy.
She just
Thank you. Put it on their tab. They don't give me money. Arr.
Don't put it on my tab. I'm not getting reimbursed for this.
Well, Kradod, we haven't...
Mouth, cheeks puffed like chipmunks, just talking.
bacon hanging
mid-sentence.
out of his face.
We have a visa to get into the District of Law, for this evening.
Kreg just gives a big gulp, goes down the throat. Doesn't look like it's going down for a second, but then the next muscles just bulge and then the rest goes down. All right.
Your little murder friend can really pack it away.
Yes, he can. I managed to get the performance at the Boiling Kettle.
You see Craig's eyes kind of light up and everything, and Piper, you can actually tell that he's actually really, really proud of you.
There's also there's a fighting pit in the bar, so I'll get to perform and then you might be able to.
Then we can throw him in there and let it be
Exactly.
their problem.
Oh, he is so excited. He starts doing push-ups to, like, warm up.
Work that bacon off.
You have a few hours.
Let me get this straight. Your little friend here is a murderer, and you're going to put him in a fighting pit.
No, I said the same thing.
Yes.
Well, I see no problems with this. Go ahead. Really get a sense for our fair city.
I mean, I thought he might enjoy himself in a more structured combat, essentially. In other news, I tell them what we investigated about the Gold Assassin speaking to the diplomats.
And when did all this happen?
Last night.
They do that a lot.
They snuck out in the middle of the night?
Yes.
I'm not in trouble for murder.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to see that you managed to make it back safe. It can be very dangerous to wander the streets at night. I would recommend next time you bring me with you.
I am the danger at night.
No, Craig just means, they seem to leave me places because they think I'm going to get in trouble. As he keeps doing push-ups.
Not seem, you do get in trouble. A lot.
I like making friends.
We know, and this required us
Craig, knock people's heads off doesn't count as making friends.
being very careful.
It required a subtle hand.
Yes, it required a little bit more subtle way of making some friends.
Oh.
And quiet.
Well, I'm glad you made it back safely, even without my assistance.
This ain't my first city.
Not mine either.
But there is no city like Mace. For this is one of the and then he just kind of like keeps going and like trails off into
Oh dear fucking.
like he's like
They just keep rambling.
First, we need to speak with the blacksmith.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Stops doing push-ups, gets up.
Hear me out. You guys could probably speak to the blacksmith and Flynn and fucking I don't actually know the book's order name.
Gelf.
Gelf.
Gelf. Alright, let me put that down. Flynn and Gelf. But yeah, I kind of want to go talk to Bryn and let him know what I found because
Of course.
trade information.
Alright. So all but Jelltur go to the ringing hammer first, is what you want to do?
No,
Yeah.
That's up to them.
I
Is
guess
that
so?
which is
Are
close?
we dividing and conquering?
They're both on the same side of the city, so it's not like it's a split. The friendly face actually is also on the same side of the city, as if I'm remembering my map correctly.
Let me take a look for you. He said friendly faces over there and ringing hammer. Yeah, they're on the same side pretty much.
Oh,
Not
and
too-
Jelltur.
Hmm?
Before you go, say hi to Buck for me.
Probably not.
If you see him.
Probably
If
not.
you see him. That's fine.
Like just straight up. Probably not. I'll probably.
If you see him, just say that Piper says hi.
If he answers the door, I'll say hi. If not, then you know.
That's fine.
Jelltur's just trying to make sure Buck doesn't think you're too interested, because he doesn't want to lose you to Buck.
I mean, naturally. I mean, have you seen Buck?
Who's Buck?
Oh, let me tell you about Buck.
Yes, that's why I asked who that person was.
He's a prostitute. Look, literally looks like he's a prostitute.
A what?
He sells sex
damn
for
it.
money.
What?
He sells very good sex for money.
Oh. Well, that makes sense then.
Yo, okay.
Anyway, ringing hammer.
The ringing hammer is 3, the dusty shelves is 4. You would actually hit the dusty shelves first.
Oh, so then we'll go there first.
Alright.
That would make sense.
Yeah, you would actually. It's not that far too, but yeah.
No, they're not that far from each other, but you would hit that one first. And the friendly face... Yeah, the friendly face is further, so Jelltur would walk with you up to you guys stop at the dusty shelves, and he would just keep going.
Yep.
So you guys walk into the dusty shelves, and Gelf is sitting there. Oh, hello, I didn't expect to see all of you again so soon. You couldn't possibly have finished those books that quickly, unless you read like I do.
I had a question for you, though.
Surely.
You had spent time with the Glacial tribe.
Ah, yes, the mournful glacier.
Had you ever come across any of the Jungle tribe?
No, I never met any of them in particular. I heard stories of your tribe from the mournful glacier. They spoke of black shadows jumping through the trees, mighty hunters, archers, as if I can recall, based off of your goddess Munara, the great eye in the sky, the moon.
Yes. Has there been any other people who have come in and asked about Katzen in recent time?
I do get a curious individual every now and then, but mostly about my journeys more than Katzen in particular. I do speak of your people quite often, and quite positively, I must add. Though no one specifically asks about Katzen, they just come in, oh, we heard you traveled the wilds, blah, 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 and I tell them what I've learned. Some people, when they hear of the Katzen, ask me to go into more detail, but nothing... That's never the lead question, if that's what you're asking.
Okay. There aren't any books on them that you've sold recently.
Oh no, there aren't any books on you at all. He pulls out a tome. I've been working on this one, but again, it mostly focuses on the mournful glacier and the stars and their ability to map them, survive in the cold. Their limited interactions with the snow elves. So there's a chapter about snow elves in here as well. I do make mention of your tribe, but it's more of a more of a footnote. If you ever find yourself returning back that way, I would more than happily accompany you.
I actually have a question about the mournful glacier Katzen.
Yes, go on. Ask away.
Yes?
Is there any difference between Scratch's claws and their claws from your experience if you were to look at them?
May I see, sir?
Yes, I extend a claw.
All right. So he examines them. He actually takes out some measurement tools, and you see him flip open a book, and there are sketches of paws with claws. And he's looking them over. Yes, yours are thinner, it seems, and more curved. I'm assuming to cling to trees, you're a good climber?
Yes.
Theirs are, he points to the differences, theirs are thicker. If you see here, much thicker. They have to cling to ice and snow and rock. So they need to have hardier, thick claws. And it also helps them grip into the ice so they can run across it without getting slippery.
Does the sketch match up with what we saw by any chance?
Make an intelligence check.
I will assist you.
Make a DC 10 intelligence check, Piper.
Yep. 13.
13, so Scratch, you have advantage.
Thank God. Thank fuck for that. I'll take the natural 20 with the advantage.
The claws are way too thick. What you saw was sharp and thin. These are thick and blunted, almost as though they're meant for traction rather than climbing.
Okay, so it probably wasn't the glacier Katzen either.
Probably not.
Okay.
You get the feeling like you haven't seen the Wayward Plains claws, but you can definitely rule out the Mournful Glacier.
I mean, the plains claws, they're not climbing rocks, so...
No, they're not climbing anything. They're part of the plains, but you don't know what their claws
it's very
look like.
unlikely that their claws would be designed for that. So I'm gonna say they were artificially made claws.
Probably. But it's good to know that it's not that.
I disagree. Someone that knows that much about us. Thank you.
If you wouldn't mind, he's writing something down real quickly. Can I take one more measurement of the paw? I'll sketch from memory. I won't hold you up. Just
Yes, okay.
he just kind of measures the width of your paw because he was measuring your claws. Then he just measures the width so he can get accurate descriptions. Mm-hmm. And you see him like excitedly beginning to sketch your paw as you guys are getting ready to leave.
Thank you, Gilf.
Oh man, if the tribe allows a researcher to visit, like this is the guy I would say we can trust this guy.
He
so
loves
nice.
your people. He's
so
your
nice.
people.
Yeah.
I just
Anyway.
picture him like the father from Tarzan.
Mm-hmm.
Jane's father from Tarzan. So you guys say goodbye to Gelf, having gotten what you could from him, and you begin making your way towards the ringing hammer, which very much lives up to its name, because you can hear it almost as soon as you leave Gelf's shop. You leave the dusty shelves, you make your way through, and you see this half-elf, his right side more muscular than his left. He's muscular on both sides, but his right side very muscular, very strong, and he is wearing a shirt. I guess you could call it that. There's not much to it. But he is standing right in front of this forge that is blazing hot. And he's just hammering away at something. And there's a little bit of ash and dust in the air.
We walk in.
It's not in, it's open air.
Over.
We walk up to him.
Alrighty.
I definitely undo like the top like button or so. No.
Alright, so he has long, I think I said platinum blonde hair, pulled back in a tail right now. But he's got his the pointed ears kind of exposed, and he like turns and looks as you guys approach, picks up the blade that he was working on, and one-handed kind of tosses it into the bucket of water, and just this hissing of steam And he walks over, leans one arm, the right arm, of course, on the counter. Morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How can I help you?
I don't know. They came over here.
He kind of laughs a little at you, Kradod.
We heard that you're the best blacksmith around.
You heard right. And you see, like, yeah, he's barely wearing a shirt, but the sigil to Molat brazenly on his chest. Like, people have been giving you dirty looks, Kradod, but no one's saying anything or doing anything. This guy is wearing his holy symbol openly, and people are avoiding looking at him more than anything else, but he's not shying away.
This isn't the same guy, is it?
What do you mean the same guy?
Is this the guy that Jelltur was talking to?
Yeah, this is the guy Jelltur
Yeah,
went
it is.
to.
I don't remember him being this hot last time. Like Sara.
He was equally hot last time.
Oh no, he was very hot last time. This time I actually got to meet him, so I got to roll.
Oh, I see.
Kreg is just gonna start looking at the weapons to see if he has anything new, if there's anything out for him to kind of like ogle.
There's quite a few beautiful pieces, yeah. And actually, Kradod, make a quick, what would it be for you?
Who knows?
Just make a quick intelligence check. It's a low DC because you're a dwarf.
With my modifier, right?
Yeah, just your intelligence modifier.
So it comes to 16.
Perfect. So the weapon work on the walls that you can see, you recognize dwarvish stylings in how the weapons were made, but dwarvish is kind of blocky and thick and like very sturdy. You're seeing curved elements of elvish elegance mixed into it. It's almost as if he's taken the two styles of the weapon and fused them into one. So it's half dwarvish, half elvish work. It has the sturdiness of dwarf, but the elegance of elf.
Do I know this guy? Like, am I familiar with him?
You've heard of him, you probably have never gone to his store because his store is only recently opened in the past year because that's when the god's power has ceased, and he used to be a cleric of Molat. So he used to work at the temple until, the powers kind of flickered out. Now he works in his own store. But you've heard of him. You definitely have heard of Flynn.
Okay.
But that's what you guys see, like, behind him on the wall.
I know you probably can't share, sometimes people ask you for certain items, but I was curious. I saw, if there were any way that you could make something to help people, like, climb better. Because, some of our travels have taken us up to the mountains, and it would be a lot easier if I had, like, if somebody asked for something to be, like, made for their hand, just, like...
As you're talking, he's reaching underneath the counter, comes up with a box, flips it open, and tosses a pair of... They're not gloves, but they are metal that wraps around each individual finger, and in the palm, there are blades. You put these on here, and he actually puts it on to show you, and he flexes his hand, and the blades kind of extend slightly. Grab onto a tree or a rock, it'll help you climb. I made these out of boredom more than anything, but I do make custom orders. There was someone who wanted something similar to, instead of being in the palm, be in the fingertips. I don't know why they would want that. It's a little weaker, but your palms are stronger. So if you need custom orders, he takes it off, kind of tosses it down. I can do that. He kind of looks at your hands. Yours are a little slender, so you might need something a little smaller than these.
Well, I mean, I am a performer, so...
Explains it.
Mm-hmm. You said somebody wanted it done for the fingertips?
Yeah, it was a custom order a few weeks back. Because he flips it over, he shows you there's 3 blades in the palm. They wanted 5, one for each fingertip. Considering how small the hands were, I didn't really mind. They just wanted them attached to gloves. So Simple enough.
And who did it?
I didn't catch their name.
I think
it was some,
you did.
I think it was some kid, he continues to say, as, after you cut him off. I think it was some kid. They were only like 4 feet tall. Too skinny to be a dwarf, but too tall to be a halfling. Honestly, I think it's probably one of those kids that's trying to join the Thieves Guild. Up-and-coming Thieves Guild that's never up-and-coming. But, kid, as I think it's a kid, kept their hood up the whole time.
Sounds awfully suspicious.
Jelltur, keeping yourself the whole time.
But they paid.
Based on what he's told me about the way it was set up in the fingertips, does it sound consistent with what we were seeing on the wall?
Yeah, kinda.
Smaller hands.
Smaller hands in the fingertips, using to climb up.
Hang on, I might have one of the testers. He moves back, goes through a box. Yep, haven't melted it down yet. He comes back and he tosses onto the table. It's a curved blade, probably only about 3 inches long, attached to a metal rod that has some kind of give to it, like hinges almost, and you can slide your finger through these rings that attach around the finger. So you could actually put it on and like kind of velociraptor claw it.
I'll try it.
Yep, your finger slips in. It's a little tight for you, but you can get your finger in there.
And you said it was a human?
I didn't see. I said too skinny to be a dwarf, too tall to be a halfling, but
Kept their
maybe
hood
human.
up the whole time.
Kept their hood up. Again, with my reputation, I take what business I can get, and I don't ask a lot of questions. It's like that weirdo with the mask the other day. I take what information I can get. He wasn't wearing a mask, he ordered a mask. I mean, I get some of those every now and then, especially when the friendly face comes down this way. They don't need the masks. I don't know why they get them, but
Certain reasons for fun. I'll take the testers off and pass them back to
there's only one tester. It's the all he had. Yeah.
But still.
Yeah.
Kreg just walks up, sees, like, he noticed the ones that, the other ones, not the tester or the special order one, the other ones that help you climb. He kind of, he's eyeballing it intently.
50 gold.
That's
Kreg just kind of shrinks down and goes, "Thank you," and just walks away.
He nods at you. Anytime. Let me know if there's anything you guys are interested in buying, or if you need a custom order.
Bryan, how much? I'm sure he has like a little plaque or something like that. How much for a javelin? Or a few?
You asked him. It would be the price of it out of the player's handbook. The javelins are normal. Like the special battle axe or the special swords, those are going to be more expensive because they're actually +1 weapons.
No, that's fair. Which would be nice, but I have nothing to pay for it, so Kreg wouldn't ask.
And most of what he makes is heavier weaponry.
Heavy metal.
Okay.
so it's a child. It seems.
They're 2 silver pieces.
Or a half. Could it, Bryan? It could have been like a
5.
halfling then, right?
It could be a large halfling, or a skinny
is a
dwarf,
possibility.
or a large gnome,
Or a
or
short
even
elf.
someone using magic to disguise themselves and make it look weird.
Okay.
There's a lot of
it
different
could be
options
anything.
here.
So really the only thing we have to go off is the fire. Is the soot, ash. Yeah, we know that there are at least
There is soot and ash in the air here.
How long ago was that?
Couple weeks.
Have you seen anybody around in the past day or so?
I mean, I get customers come through.
Anything go missing?
Nothing's really gone missing. I mean, I hear something going through my garbage sometimes at night, but I just figure that's the vagabonds.
And you don't dispose of any of your creations, prototypes in the garbage, do you?
Now I melt them down and use the material again. Iron's expensive.
I'd like to see if there's anything in the area that, like, because if there was soot on there, they would have been here within the last day, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was Jelltur.
Ha
Damn, they got
Even
me.
though those murders happened before you guys got here.
Brian, what do we do? They got me.
I guess fight to the death.
Hey, the song got here before we got here, so it's
This
possible.
is true. Jelltur just flew all the way here in the middle of the night, killed people, flew all the way back. You guys never noticed.
Yeah, that sounds like Jelltur. Let's. So yeah, can we look around the area? I want to.
Sure. Go ahead and roll investigation checks. If you're helping anyone, you either
I'll
have to be
help.
proficient for an auto help or a DC 10 check in the skill you're trying to help someone with.
I'll help. And that is
A
a
19.
12 to help, so...
All right, so Scratch, if you'd like, you can roll an advantage, Scratch, and Kreg, you can roll an advantage because Kradod's helping.
19.
Well, Scratch, as you guys go into you're kind of looking around, and he did say he hears something going through his garbage. You're like, let's go back there. And Kreg, I would like you to roll an investigation at advantage,
Okay.
just as
That's fine.
an aside.
Happy to roll it.
14. All right, so Kreg, you're kind of following along behind Kradod and the rest of them, kind of pouty, and you hear Kradod say something about, it was going through the garbage, and you're like, going through the garbage? That sounds like what Sebastian does sometimes. And you look into the garbage can, and you do see, like, you're looking through, it's like, hey, it's kind of like when Sebastian goes through the garbage. There's nothing food-like left in here. It's just some scrape marks against the inside of the barrel, because it's a wooden barrel. Some scrape marks in there, scratches, looks like something clawed its way in and out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Scratch, you find those same claw marks that you saw in the other building on the side of this building, but far more numerous. As if something climbs up this a lot.
They come back here often. I'm going to climb up to the roof.
Alright, how are you doing that, by the way?
Like a cat.
Like, are you just hang on and just kind of scrabbling up, or are you, like, slinking up?
I would slink up.
Alright,
Yeah,
so
I would.
roll me a
I would
stealth
go
check.
stealthily. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. I have a thing for this. So yeah, I'll use ninth life, and I will
Alright.
stealth.
So that gives you a d4 added to your stealth check.
24.
Alright.
What are you up to, Catman?
Shh.
Eh,
Kradod.
What?
Just let him.
Oh,
Just let him. Quiet.
Alright, so Scratch, you slink up to the top, and you find that the top of this building is flat. And there's a portion that kind of jut out over where the forge is, and there's kind of a chimney by the forge. And you see kind of a huddled figure by the chimney, kind of looking over the side a little bit, like they're trying to be sneaky, looking over the side a little bit. But you can tell, like, they're pressed against the stone, and they're kind of... You feel like they're probably using it for warmth. But there is definitely ash and soot all over this roof.
see the footprints?
You see a figure.
Can I see what they are?
They have a cloak on, and the hood is up.
Okay.
They are bundled up tight. You get the feeling like they are cold, and they are using this to stay warm. Go ahead and make me a perception check. This one, no ninth life, because this is just what you're seeing, like, as you come over the side.
Yeah. 13.
13. There's a little glint of something metallic near their hands, but you can't really get a good look at it.
Yeah, I figured. Does it look like it, like, do I think this is a child? Like, does it...
From the size of it, it looks like it could be,
like a child from several different races. It looks a little tall to be a halfling, as I said, a little tall to be a gnome, and a little skinny to be a dwarf. But maybe an undersized elf. Elves don't grow to be that tall. They can be like 5'3", 5'4". So maybe it's a young elf. Maybe it's a human child. They're only like 4 feet tall.
Are you okay?
The figure jumps slightly, turns, and their hand flies out at you. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Dex save I can certainly do. 17.
17. You duck out of the way as a handful of ash goes for your face, and you avoid it. Turn, and you see this figure. They have their hand out staring at you. Pulls the hood of the cloak back. Papa? And Scale is standing in front of you.
It's your baby! Your baby's murdering bitches!
Oh shit.
And I think that's a good place to end it. This has been the Reliably Chaotic podcast. Champions of Solane is an original Dungeons & Dragons adventure written by Bryan Scharf using the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rule set published by Wizards of the Coast. My name is Bryan Scharf, and I've been your DM. You can reach me at ReliableDM on Twitter.
My name is Nicole Summers, and I play Piper.
This is Jair, also known as JJ, and I play the character of Jelltur Jactus.
This is Matthew Reed, and I play Scratch.
This is Andrew Brown, and I play Kreg.
Greetings, listener! It is I, Sara, and I portray fan favorite Kradod Deephead!
Theme music by Adrian von Ziegler. All other music by Kevin MacLeod on the Incompetech website and Adrian von Ziegler. Detailed information about music in this episode is provided in its description. Music for this episode was selected by Nicole Summers. The episode was edited by Matthew Reed with assistance from Sara. Contact us out on Twitter at Reliably Chaotic, email us at reliablychaotic@gmail.com, or join our Discord server by following the link in our description. If you like our show and would like to support us, please consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/reliablychaotic or by leaving a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. It really does help a lot. Thank you for listening, and we hope to see you again in our next adventure.